Hey, Jeff. Name's Mark.
Nice to meet you, Mark.
Yeah,
How you doing?
too. Good. Hey, man. What's your thoughts on God?
Just in general, I've been in church since I was probably 8 years old. So I'm 29 now. It's been a long journey, but it's a lot of different beliefs as far as what faith you are and where you go to church. But I've seen a lot of miracles, so I definitely believe in God, and I just think He's a very powerful thing to have with religion. So it's tough to discuss, but like I think between me and you, your religion might be a little bit different than mine, but we believe in the same thing. You know, just kind of what you've seen and what you've been through, kind of gives you that religious belief.
Right. So do you often think about death?
I deal with anxiety a lot, so death is something that I do think about, and it is scary. It's more terrifying now that I have my own family, and I have a child. I have a 10-year-old, and I have a son coming in a couple weeks, another one. Death does scare me because like I would be leaving them behind, and that's the tough part. So yeah, definitely think about it. Where you're going to go and what you're going to do and how you do it. Everything I do each day, not only are they looking at me, but you know you have to answer to God, and that's kind of the end result. You know, when you're at the gates and things like that. So it's something that you sit down and you're like, oh, I shouldn't have done that. You know, ask for forgiveness type thing, and you don't want to go your last breath. You know, that's on your mind, like, oh, I made a mistake. So death is something I do think about.
So do you think that you were talking about, you know, death and knowing that one day man is going to answer to God?
Yeah, definitely.
So knowing that, do you think that man alone is saved by the things that he does?
I wouldn't say that. It's a touchy subject because, you know, everybody's like, oh, I'm a good person. But then you ask them about their religion and they may not believe in God. I think there are good people who don't have any religious beliefs or may not believe in God. I have friends who don't believe in God at all, and they're some of my best friends. But there's not a lot, you know, I don't force my religion on people.
Mm-hmm.
I don't go out and say, hey, if you don't believe this, then I can't deal with you. And it's just the way I was raised. I mean, we came up in a church where everybody was welcome and open. But I do believe that, you know, the way you treat other people shows kind of your religion.
Right.
You know,
So if you died today and God judged you according to the Ten Commandments, how do you think you would do?
that's tough. That's tough because I've made mistakes before marriage. Obviously, I was doing things I probably shouldn't have been doing, and I know better because I was in church. But we try to do the best we can. You know, and I ask for forgiveness. I pray every night. Pray for my family, my friends. So I don't think I would fare. I don't know how it would fare. You know, it just kind of depends on how people, I guess, would weigh some of the things that I do. But I don't actively do things that break those commandments. Especially now that I'm married, I think that things are a lot better. Marriage is something that within religion, it's tough for some people that are 20, 22 to understand, like, to save yourself. And I've been with my wife for 10 years. We've been married 2. And it's just, I mean, that's something we thought we should do at the right time. We thought it was right and time to move forward. So marriage is one of those things. I think that if you're going to pick a commandment, that's one thing that I don't think a lot of kids really look at. They are breaking it. It is part of that. So.
Right. Well, could I kind of go through some of those Ten Commandments with you?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Okay. Have you ever told a lie?
Of course.
All right. So what would you call someone that tells a lie?
A liar.
Never stolen anything, no matter what the value of it was.
I would say yeah. Definitely.
So what would you call someone who steals?
Thief.
You ever use God's name in vain as a cuss word?
Yes.
All right. That's blasphemy. Very, very serious in the eyes of God.
Yes. Very.
So now Jeff, right?
Yes.
So Jeff, this is the one that really got me. Was Jesus said that if you were to look at a woman just to lust after her, you've already committed adultery already with her within your heart.
Yeah.
So have you ever looked with sexual desire?
Of course.
Okay. I like your honesty.
I'm a very honest person.
Yeah.
There's no lying here.
Right.
I try to be. I mean, there's no reason to lie.
Right.
I'm 29 now. When I was younger, obviously you don't want to get in trouble, but I only answer to one man.
Yeah.
So
That's right.
that's how I see it.
So I'm not judging you, man. Not at all. But
I don't think you are.
But like in your own admission, like you've admitted that you're lying, thieving, blasphemous, adultery in the heart. So if you died today and God gave you justice, what do you think his ultimate decision would be? If he judged you according to those, let's just say standard.
Yeah, it'd be tough. I don't think I'd get to go in. I don't think I'd be one of the ones that get to walk through. Just to be honest with you.
Right. I like
And
that.
it's just it's not something you think about every day.
So do
I
you
don't
think that? So do you think that other place is hell?
Yeah, I think that there's definitely somewhere else that people go. Just like I said, some of my past experiences, things I've seen, people delivered from demons, and some of the churches I've been to. I definitely believe that there's another place.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's kind of now. I think that a misconception that Christians get a lot is that bad people go to hell, good people go to heaven. I don't necessarily always believe that. I do believe that there's Christians who are wrong, who judge, who do things they shouldn't do.
Yeah.
So I think that that's kind of the misconception of Christianity, and a lot of people aren't open to talk about that.
Yeah.
And I am. I've seen it. I've been in churches my whole life. Like I said, I've seen good people who are sinners, and Christians who do bad things.
Right. So and we knew why Christ came.
Yeah.
He came to pay that penalty for sin, and he died on that cross that we may have everlasting life, and especially to spend eternity with him, of course. So what do you think you would have to do, or what do you think man has to do to get into the kingdom, to be saved?
I think you have to ask for forgiveness first and foremost. You have to. That's you come to the altar and you ask. You don't even have to be a church. I mean, I was saved at home, and you have to ask for forgiveness, and you have to kind of let him in your heart and lead a righteous life and kind of do the things. You're going to make mistakes. I don't think there's a perfect Christian. I don't think there's a single person that walks this earth that doesn't make mistakes. Yeah. And that's kind of, if you come into Christianity thinking you have to be perfect, you've already failed. That's not the way to go about it. You have to go in and you have to understand you're going to make mistakes. Mm-hmm. Even as a father, as a human, a husband, I know I'm going to make mistakes, and that's outside the realm of my religion. So if you come in knowing that you're not purely going to be perfect, I think that you can be a Christian and live the right life.
Right. So like you were saying on forgiveness, we also see that forgiveness hinges on repentance.
Yeah.
That's exactly what God commands, is that man repents.
Yeah.
And goes towards Christ in faith.
Definitely.
So but you being a Christian, as you were saying, do you often go out and share your faith with those who are lost?
No, I don't. I stated a little bit earlier, I don't push my religion on anyone. If someone's going through something tough, I'll pray for them, and if they are open to pray with me, that's obviously something we can do together, or things of that nature. But I don't go out and kind of put forth my religion or push it. I don't like saying push it, because there are people like you. You asked, we were strangers, 15 minutes ago,
yeah.
And you asked me to talk, and I didn't have any issue with that, because I'm open about my religion. You asked me about it, but if somebody asked me, I would obviously be honest with them and ask them how they feel, and then if they were interested in having a conversation about it, I would kind of tell them what God's done for me, things I've seen in my life, and how I've been blessed.
Right.
I mean,
Well, could I share a scenario with you?
Sure.
Okay, let's imagine a fire in a house, and there's people inside of a house.
Definitely.
Okay, our responsibility would be to go out and to warn the person that there's a fire.
Yeah. I want to save them.
Right, but we gently knock on the door and gently say, "Hey, we need you to come out.
Yeah.
There's a fire in the house."
It's a good metaphor, good way to look at it.
Or would you bust down the door,
And go save them.
yell at the family, "Hey, there's a fire inside"?
Right.
That would be all the more to be in urgency,
Yeah.
to go and to warn them and to bring them out from the fire. But let's just say that you don't know these people, or you don't know anyone,
Right.
but yet people die each and every day. About 150,000 people die every 24 hours.
Yeah.
But there's just someone down the street that you don't know that may die tonight and go to hell.
Yeah, because you didn't.
Because you didn't simply just step out in faith and in urgency and warn the people that we have sinned against a holy God, and that we must command men to repent, just like Christ did.
Yeah.
So, what's your thoughts on that? I mean, kind of, seeing the difference.
It's a fair way to put it. I think it's a fair metaphor. It's similar in a lot of ways, but I mean, not to play devil's advocate, but there are trained professionals, we call them firefighters, that are there designed to help them. And I think that there are people that are Christians that are called upon to minister the word. And I think we all should, don't get me wrong, but there are people who I've met that there's great priests, and I've met people who can teach the word better than them, or there's a prayer warrior. There's just different, I think there's different things that you're called to do that you're good at. I work a lot with teens. I work a lot with kids. I coach kids all the time. I taught, when I was in church a lot, I taught children's ministry. Like, there's just better things that people relate to than others. And I think that, that's what you've been blessed with. You were able to approach me, a man in an alley, just playing basketball, and ask me a question about my faith. And that's not easy for anyone, So I do think that that's definitely a fair comparison, though. I mean, it's definitely so.
Right. Because Christ did say, he said in Mark 16:15, he said, go, into the world and preach the gospel to every creature. And that word "go" is just mentally just go.
Yeah.
It's actually a command that those who are Christians have a duty and a command to go out and to effectively share their faith. So I just want to encourage you. If you're born again, if you love people, and you say that you help kids out and you do this and do that, and that's commendable.
Yeah.
But I want to encourage you, man, to go out and share your faith, because
Definitely.
we don't know who's dying, we don't know who's saved and who's not saved.
Exactly.
But if we can go out there and share the gospel, I think that's definitely again a command, but it's also commendable to do that. So I encourage you, man, to step out and like you were saying, it's not religion that saves, man. People in religion are just religious people.
Yeah.
But people who are sincerely saved, they look at the gospel and they see, that there's a lost and dying world. So we have to go out and warn them about, sinfulness of man, their depravity, and also, call them to a relationship with God through repentance and faith.
I can definitely relate. I mean, I think I've seen it more times than one. That's with people who are just born again, It's just a new, fresh start on life for them.
Right.
And it's a completely different turnaround, So
Yeah.
it does happen.
Yeah.
It does happen, and I think a lot of people may look at it as, say a drug addict's coming off the street, they're looking for something else to get addicted to. That's fine. If they want to get addicted to religion, let them get, filled up with the Holy Spirit or whatnot. So it's just, I've been through a lot more experiences than maybe a non-person who has never been religious in their life. So I have a different outlook on certain things. So.
All right. Well, Jeff, I appreciate allowing me to talk to you,
No,
man.
thank you. I appreciate it. It was a great chat. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
You keep spreading the word.